Welcome to Waves of Wisdom. I'm very excited to have another episode for you guys. Today we have Kim Rigby on board, who is a swim teacher, a manager, a coach, an educator. She's a bit of everything, so I'm very excited to have her on board. She's got over 30 years of experience. I'll let her tell you a bit about herself, but she's got a background in education and specializing in access and inclusivity and making a holistic approach to swimming. So very excited to get her tips on how to get your little ones started, especially if, they might be a little bit different from everyone else, mainstream, and just welcoming into that community. So Kim, I'll pin you on here. Welcome.
Well, hello. How are you?
There we go. Nice. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get into swimming?
Interesting. So my background going back, I actually wasn't a swimmer. I was a runner myself. And I found myself at Olympic camp when I was 17-year-old. But what got me interested in the swimming was actually my son. So he broke his leg when he was 7.5 and he was sports crazy. So we would take him to the pool. He would do some rehabilitation. And then through my background with sport and teaching, because I had my Bachelor of Education in teaching, that I would be involved in school swimming program, and it sort of morphed from there. And when I moved to Queensland, I met one of the directors of Swimming Queensland, asked me to work for him, and it just went from there.
Yeah, awesome. Nice.
Yeah.
And how did you I know you teach and you do everything, and we focus on all types of kids with swimming, but you've kind of geared towards inclusive access and inclusivity
Yes.
with more special needs or disabilities. How did you kind of get into that?
Purely through people approaching us. So, it's something hard when you have a little one who learns differently, and a lot of parents will compare their child to another child. And they would approach me, and I could see the anguish on their face. And about 6 years ago, I developed a access and inclusion program where I want it to be holistic. So when we taught the whole spectrum, I wanted connectivity, I wanted problem solving. So I was very lucky in my job that they backed me and I was allowed to pursue this. So we would have our main program, and then at quiet time, and I'm very lucky with our new build that we have now, we can even dim the lights and we can have, it's amazing. And we can have quiet time. It's all one-on-one. It's for 20 minutes. And we have been so successful that we have integrated children back into the program. I had a little boy who's autistic, and he actually did the intensive program. I nearly cried when I watched him. It was just beautiful. And it made me happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into a few questions we've got from different parents. So what do you think the most important skill or mindset is for a child to develop during their early swimming?
So children will learn through play, as you know. Everything's got to be fun. It's got to be play-based. Even though we have a structured program, they're our main goals. And children will obviously learn through repetition. They will learn through play-based activities. They'll learn through great instruction, making a connection with their teaching and with their teachers. And the biggest thing is for us to get their trust. So once we have their trust, we can make this learning experience an amazing journey from them, right from babies. And as you know, we keep them till basically they're 8-year-old and ready to move to junior squad.
Yeah, nice. All right. So is there anything that the parents can do at home to help build the trust with the teacher, if that makes sense? Because I'm talking to a lot of parents.
Yes, absolutely. So I think one of the biggest things with Learn to Swim is the connections. And children, like someone's away and they have a new teacher and they think, oh, my teacher's not here. So I think building relationships with other teachers so that the parents can actually say, oh, Miss Kim's taking you today. And you remember Miss Elisa, she's away today, but her friend's going to teach you. So educating them, knowing sometimes they have a different teacher, what to expect, what to take with them, what's going to happen in the class, just so they're not coming in a little bit anxious. So they're very well prepared for their class.
Nice. And you said you have a bit of an inclusive community that you guys are working on. Is there anything that you give to these kids before they come in, or any tips for how you help them?
So when we speak to the parents, we're very open-minded, and I will often get a phone call, and I'll say to the parent, come in and meet me. I want to meet you. I want to show you the center. I want to show you where your child's going to experience their lesson. And I or one of my experienced team will get in the water with your child so they're comfortable. And I tell them, obviously, if the child has sensory needs or whatever, we tell them how we structure the lesson, how we deconstruct a lesson, and what to expect.
Okay, nice. And if a parent doesn't have access to this at a local swim school, like your amazing swim school in Kelowna, what do you recommend they could do to kind of instill some of the values you guys have at their pool that they're swimming at?
Yeah. So everything's through education. The more we all know, the better off we all are. We have some things in the pipeline at the moment, which I'm really excited about. So we're
there.
So we're working on taking this across all our sites,
Oh, cool.
which, as you know, I'm really excited about. And it's in conversations with my managers. It's not like a program that is set. So we have to create a toolbox of ideas. And I do this in a unique way. I take photos. So we might have a topic of navigation or agility. So I'll have pictures of a child going through hoops. So if the child's able to see, they can look at the picture and go, that's really cool. That's what we're going to do today. And I can use these images to create a lesson. And it's cool. Or we might learn in another way. Sometimes they might have a little whiteboard and they might like to create their own lesson, which is usually the hardest lessons when they do their own.
You're like, wait, what
Yeah. But then, we have little slippery dips. We have mats at different densities for back floating and for confidence. So this toolbox that we're creating at the moment is really, really
nice. All right. So something that parents can maybe do at home if they're only swimming at their local pool, and they have a bit of a special needs kid, or even just any kid, really, because we all learn visually if you're not swimming with other kids, is they could maybe take a photo or find a photo online of an activity, and then they could show their kid that.
Maybe we're working on lots of things, Elisa. It's so exciting. Like, and as you know, even when I do outreach, I make it inclusive for everyone. And I remember I had a comment recently and the teacher said, do you know, Kim, that's the first time that child has engaged for a full 20 minutes. So, engagement, connection, having fun with children is the secret to success.
Yeah. It's all about having fun, right?
Yeah, I love having fun, as you know.
Perfect. Well, people might not know, but you've actually written a book called My Swimming Lesson.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that and how that came about?
Ta-da!
Oh, she's got it. I couldn't find a copy.
It was funny because a friend of mine, co-author Marie, so we would actually chat and we'd say, oh, we should write about this. And we actually wrote a whole lot of books. Anyway, this one was about an anxious child. And it's about a little girl not knowing what to expect when she goes to a swimming lesson. So we talk about in the book how she can prepare her goggles, she can put her togs and her towel ready, and she has little directions where she's going. She has conversations with her mum, and it's done in such a light-hearted way. And her mum visits the centre before she comes to show her what to expect. So it's been fun, and it's been a very little valuable book. Yeah.
Awesome. And where can people find this book?
So you can find them at bookstores. I will order them for you, or we have a little Facebook page called the Mermaid Sisters.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and you could order directly from there.
Nice. Well, we can put a link down below this video, and we can maybe get a link to buy it from there if people are interested in it. But it's pretty much talking about what we just talked about, right? Through pictures and talking and having fun and preparing the child for the swim lesson.
Absolutely, because you know what it's like. You watch these little ones come in for a come and try. Sometimes they're sort of holding onto their mum and hiding behind their leg. And, you've got to get down to their level, have a chat to them and just reassuring that everything will be okay. And, Elisa, even back in the day when I was coaching, we took several children to the national titles age championships. So they had gained so much confidence and obviously had done the times that they were integrated into squad, mainstream squad, and then we took them to Adelaide for the nationals.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yes.
It's so rewarding, not just for them, but you as a coach to see that progression too. So, and it's definitely everything is possible if they want to do it. So, just not to let you get down if your little one isn't confident yet in the water, but they love swimming. It's always an opportunity. Hey.
Absolutely. And as I say, like this toolbox that we're working on at the moment, I hope it will be available to everybody because it's so valuable.
Yeah, perfect. Well, we'll definitely have to have you on a little bit later when everything rolls out and kind of give some more tips to our parents online about toolboxes they can use. But did you have any other words of wisdom you'd like to share with our families? Anything?
I just think, like, if you think your little one, for a better word, is struggling or they learn in a different way, reach out to a swim school manager at an aquatic site near you, or, you know, we're more than happy to have you at Kawana at Rackley Swimming. And we just take you through those steps and we tell you what to expect. And we have little outcomes. We set goals. We sit down and set goals, like, what are the parents looking for? What does a child need? And we work towards this process, and our outcomes have been fantastic so far.
Nice. Yeah, and that's a great idea. Even you could ask your local swim school about going in a quiet time in the middle of the day or dimming the lights or, you know, things that the school might not necessarily think about. But if you know your child and you know they're reactive or sensitive to light or loud noise, or even a 20-minute lesson versus a 30-minute lesson, which is what you talked about. So just really looking at all those different options, and you can take them to your local swim school if you don't live near Kim or myself. But yeah, there's always different options.
Yes, definitely. Like there are options, and I always say in life, always have options.
Yeah.
You know, some people think, oh, my child's not progressing down that line, I'm going to stop. But there's always options. You just need to reach out and ask.
Yeah, or we get that a lot, or we've had it before. You see it in moms groups, and they're like, "My child's not progressing. Maybe I need to switch swim schools." But it's not even necessarily that. Sometimes they could try a different teacher. They might connect differently with a different teacher or a different time. Or do you have any other tips for if they're like, "Oh, my child's not progressing"?
And that is what you just said, finding the right teacher. Like
Yeah.
I have a teacher, she's absolutely amazing. She has her PhD in early childhood, and she just has this knack of connecting with children who are scared. And to watch her teach is it's just beautiful. And we try to match personality with teachers, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's trial and error, but usually we're pretty good. But you know, finding your favorite teacher and finding something in common, and that link and that bond will start.
Yeah, nice. And as a manager, I don't know if you guys do this too. You did kind of say about the cover teacher because teachers will be sick and you might have a change. And even when they get to bigger school, they can't choose their teacher all the time.
Yes.
So if you are doing 2 swim lessons a week, I always recommend doing 2 different teachers
Yeah.
because although at the swim school I was working at, we teach the same lesson plan, we might teach it that little bit different or say it in a different way. And it gives that kid a different chance to learn it. So that's why I always say it is good to have one teacher that you love, but you know, have a couple different teachers so you can learn a little bit different.
That is actually a great idea. If you're doing several lessons, to try somebody else. I mean, you always get your favorites.
Yeah.
You know, but that perfect. And we try to do things like, you know, on our Facebook page, we'll try to say, you know, Miss Kim's away today, Lisa will be replacing, just so they can show the child in the morning a
Yeah.
picture. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, it's been amazing talking with you today, and I'm sure you have lots more tips, and we'll get you on another time. I have a question from my last guest. So they left it for you, not knowing who you are. They said, if there is a new mom that is debating about swimming and they're not quite, you know, ready to go with swim lesson, how would you kind of convince them the benefits of getting their child into swimming?
Well, I mean, look where we live. Hey, we're surrounded by water. We need to get these children in the water. I would say if they didn't want to get into lessons straight away, do some play-based activities themselves.
Okay.
But the importance, and it's a discussion that someone should have, the importance of getting children in the water earlier has so many benefits. You know, it's just being happy around the water, not scared of the water. just to have that bond with a teacher instead of their mum or their carer or their dad just have playtime. We need to get them in and actually start teaching these little ones to swim, and through play and through fun. So I think parents think, a swim lesson is rigid, but, as you know, our programs are goal-based, and how we get there is so much fun. And I just think these parents need to know the importance of swimming lessons and getting their child. It's a skill for life.
Yeah, definitely. And if you have a pool around, or I mean, we live in Australia, so there's water everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's cool. There's so much other benefits, and I won't tell anymore because I've actually got a researcher on next on my next podcast who's actually studied the benefits. She has nothing to do with swimming at all. So it's very
Yes.
exciting to hear what she's got to say. But yeah, there's so many benefits to it. So if you're new and you're just debating, say check out your local swim school. If you don't get the right vibe from that, check out another swim school. There's heaps around.
Absolutely. And as you know, Alyssa, like just social skills, and, they learn to wait, they learn to count. There's just so many aspects in swimming that it's just not swimming alone. And they make friends for life sometimes.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
Mm.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kim, for coming on. I'm very
Thank
excited
you.
that I had you. And we look forward to having a chat again and seeing these toolboxes roll out through the swim school you're at, which is Roughly
Yes.
Swimming, which is 32 locations now around Australia.
Yes.
So who knows, it might be nationwide or worldwide soon. So
That would be nice.
perfect. And if you're interested in her book to read to your little ones, I'll post a link to how you can get it below. But thank you guys for coming on and watching us. And again, thank you, Kim, for joining.
Thank you very much for having me, Alyssa.
Bye.